What happens in the end, assuming this goes as planned, and that has yet to be seen? How is this all stitched together in a form that will be palatable to the Senate?
So they'll do 4 separate bills, but they'll all just automatically stitch together at the end. And the way they'll do it is, the progressive Democrats who want conditions put on the Israel aid and are upset about treatment of Palestinians in Gaza can vote against that. And the ultra-conservatives who don't like the Ukraine aid can vote against that. And then at the end, they'll just stitch it all together and send it over to the Senate. And they're doing a few things, as you just saw the Speaker mention, to try to make it a little more palatable on the edges, make the economic assistance to Ukraine a loan, like if they ever get better, they could maybe pay it back, and seize some Russian assets. Most of those assets, as your prior guest mentioned, are over in Europe and not the U.S., but there's still some in the U.S., and you can seize some in the U.S. and defray some of the cost.
Of course, we also just discussed with Congressman Smith this idea that there could very well be a motion to vacate that is actually acted on by Marjorie Taylor Greene ahead of us in the not-so-distant future. He says he would cast a vote to protect Mike Johnson. He thinks a number of other Democrats would be with him. I guess my question is, even if he's saved by Democrats once, what's to stop this from happening again and again and again? And will Democrats continue to show up for a Republican speaker when Ukraine aid is no longer on the line?
Well, also, the Marjorie Taylor Greene and the conservatives can basically cripple him even without taking him out as speaker by just stopping these things called rules, which are the way that basically any legislation has to be considered in the House. Democrats might say, hey, we'll vote for you to be speaker, but they're not necessarily going to vote for the so-called rule that allows Congress to consider all these pieces of Republican legislation. And then the dissidents can keep kneecapping the speaker all the way along. So it certainly would create a weak situation for the speaker. But there does seem to be Democratic sentiment, if he proceeds with this plan to fund Ukraine, to at least back him on not throwing him out, not deposing him. For now.
For now. All right. Bloomberg's Mike Dorning, who helps lead our congressional coverage. Thank you so much. Now, in the meantime, the democratically controlled Senate killed the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas today. Joining us now for more is Bloomberg's Texas bureau chief, Julie Fine, who deals with the issue of the border up close and personal every single day. And Julie, of course, we heard from the Republicans in the House who had impeached Mayorkas in the first place that he was in dereliction of duty in enforcing the Biden administration's policies at the border. How is this death of the impeachment likely to go down in border states where this is such an issue?
Well, I think the death of the impeachment is not going to be a surprise in border states. I mean, clearly in border states, there are many that wanted to see this happen and wanted to see this trial in the Senate. But it's like going to a play where you know the ending, like you knew it wasn't going anywhere in the Senate. So while I think it was something that border states are very concerned about, they knew ultimately this impeachment trial was likely not to happen.
Well, of course, the border issue is such a big one, Julie, on the campaign trail. We've talked about this a lot, depending on where you are. It's the #1 issue, and it was certainly in the air in Pittsburgh today, where President Biden was calling for higher tariffs, geopolitics playing into this, higher tariffs specifically on Chinese steel and aluminum, all part of his pitch to union workers in the swing state. I want to get your take on the contrast we're seeing now on the campaign trail after we hear from Joe Biden. Here he is.
The backbone of America has a steel spine. It really does have a steel spine. U.S. Steel has been an iconic American company for more than a century, and it should remain a totally American company. American owned, American operated by American union steelworkers, the best in the world. And that's going to happen, I promise you.
Now, Julie, he's talking to union rank and file there. There was the steelworkers today, many of whom, as we saw, are gravitating toward Donald Trump's message. If Joe Biden can pursue or actually close the deal on executive action on the border, will he win more of them over?
I think in terms of some of the steel workers, I think it will certainly get their attention. And this is something you are going to see frequently on the campaign trail, especially in states like Pennsylvania, which are critical to President Biden, and where you'll see him spending a lot of time courting that union vote, which is absolutely critical to him. And being strong on this issue on the border is a win for him, where he needs one when it comes to immigration, where many people feel he's just not strong enough on that issue.